Welcome, friends! No, I didn't just clickbait you. At Kelty Meadow Campground in the Sierra National Forest, you may just find your campsite overrun by cattle, but for me, it was all part of the charm. There's much more to discuss than just cows roaming around the campsites, like the amazing views and peaceful experience. Kelty Meadow might be one of my best campground experiences of last year, so I wanted to share this lesser-known gem of the Sierra Nevadas. So why don't you grab a snack, get comfortable, and let me tell you about this wonderful little horse-friendly campground in the mountains. We'll talk about the where, the whats, and yes, we'll hang with the cows too. So where in the heck are you taking us today, Glenn? Well, the Sierra Nevada of California. Specifically, we're on the western side of these majestic mountains in the Sierra National Forest. Kelty Meadow sits near the base of the majestic Fresno Dome at 3,400 feet. The scene before you gives you a good idea of the surrounding terrain. There are several little meadows surrounding the campground which are great for watching wildlife, or not so wildlife. The most memorable view for us was from the edge of one of the meadows. The landscape with the Fresno Dome in the background is iconic and memorable. Kelty Meadow Campground is one of several campgrounds of the Sierra National Forest that could serve as a backup to Yosemite campgrounds in the event those are booked. The southern gate near Wawona is a little less than an hour away, although it might take several hours more to get in during busy times. If you're here researching Yosemite campground backups, pay close attention to what I have to say about campground amenities in a few minutes. Some of you may be deterred, as this is not the most family-friendly campground. Kelty Meadow Campground is also about a half an hour from Bass Lake, which is one of the primary filming locations for the 1988 comedy The Great Outdoors. We made several campground drive-through videos for other Sierra National Forest campgrounds that border the lake. And check out our Sierra National Forest Campgrounds playlist for more. Okay, this is where I want those of you planning a family vacation to Yosemite who are striking out of getting campground reservations to pay very close attention. Kelty Meadow does not have an office or a visitor center. There was not even a campground host on the premises when we went. There are also no flushing toilets there. Just porta potties, which were clean, but very small and tight quarters, especially for a gent like me. In fact, when sitting down in one, my face was just about pressed up against the door, and that is not an exaggeration. Not only are there no flushing toilets or sinks, there's also no drinking water here either. You have to bring your own. No folks, this is not the fully developed campground that you might think it is. And on my trip, I saw two families arrive who thought I was a host, and then they found out that they were on their own out here. No water, and not much at all in fact, and they decided to leave to find hotels, which left their reserve sites unutilized. Don't be those people. If you want more amenities, check out some other nearby campgrounds. Now, I don't want to deter too much, because for those of us who actually prefer a little less amenities, this campground was awesome. I personally didn't feel anything was lacking. And you do have a few things going here, like a picnic table at each site, as well as a fire ring, plenty of level ground to pitch a tent, much cool shade, and even hitching posts for your horse. Yes, this is a horse-friendly campground, although we didn't see any during our stay. While the dirt road that circumnavigates the campground has some tight corners, some of the sites, like Site 6, are considered double sites, which have gigantic driveways suitable for horse trailers. These are some of the largest campsites I've ever seen. And overall, the campground was very clean, quiet, and peaceful, with very few people camping, even during a busy time of the year. Sometimes we like to do a segment on what we think the best sites in a given campground are, but this episode is easy because I'd say they're all just about equally good. Most are very well spread out and in the woods. The only exception might be the site I chose, Site 9, which is near the front of the campground. I had neighbors most of the nights in neighboring Sites 7 and 11. Site 7 was a little loud and inconsiderate at times, but not enough to ruin it. If you really want to maximize your privacy, sites towards the back like sites 4, 5, or 6 would be excellent choices. Also, a pro tip. I spent a lot of time during my camping trip working on my laptop. I had internet connectivity via Starlink and would even go seek out mountaintop temporary offices to get work done when needed. My multi-day stay at Kelty Meadow was primarily my office days, where I would work on the CampView app, coming soon to campview.com. Being in Site 9, however, during the day was a little annoying that time of the year because more than one confused guest thought I was the host and wanted me to help resolve their issues or answer questions. So if you don't want to be mistaken for a campground host, maybe avoid Site 9. Still looking for my paycheck, U.S. Forest Service. But outside of those moments, it was just me and the cows most of the time. I'd often hang out at the edge of the meadows, watching wildlife and the cows doing their cow thing. It was peaceful and refreshing and made work feel like leisure. Only real gripe and heads up are the mosquitoes. They can get quite bad here at times. Bring spray. So what's it like camping with cows? Well, they weren't present 24/7. You'd see them come and go, and then not see them at all some days. They're afraid of people, so best to leave them be, unless you want to get kicked by one. Make sure to throw away your trash and not leave things in the fire rings, as I saw some of them nosing around. Surprisingly, I saw very little cow doo-doo during the stay. You'd think the campground would be covered in it, but it wasn't. That being said, best watch your step. You will of course hear a lot of mooing, so if that's not your thing, best to avoid this campground. But if you like the sound of the farm like me, you may find it comforting. I see lots of cattle on my journeys, but usually don't get to camp with them. Other than the city folk that shacked up next to me not having the best campground etiquette one night, spending a couple nights at Kelty Meadow in the Sierra was good for the soul. I can absolutely recommend camping here, so long as you're clear on the lack of services. Just be knowledgeable and prepared and courteous to your fellow campers. And cows. We did a complete drive-through of this small campground if you want eyes on all the sites. When ready, you can reserve a site at recreation.gov and come experience the magic of this mountain campground. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, you can support CampView by subscribing to our channel or share it with a friend. We'll be back again soon with more campground overviews and drive-throughs, so check back in often. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one.